Miami Heat did it. They got out of the play-in position and now hold the sixth and final definitive playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, and they did it on their day off. We'll recap how that happened as well as preview tonight's massive game against an Eastern Conference rival in the Philadelphia 76ers. We'll do this all on this episode of Heat Digest, where we create daily Miami Heat content. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel, as 84% of you guys currently watching this video are not currently subscribed. We are on the road to 1,300 subscribers. So if you are a part of that 84%, scroll down, click the subscribe button. It means the world to us to see that love and support you guys have shown. So once again, thank you guys for that. But now let's get to it and break down how the Miami Heat have moved up in the Eastern Conference standings, and they did it on their day off. Now it was April 3rd, just yesterday, Wednesday, April 3rd, where the Miami Heat had a day off. They did not play. We do play tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers, which we'll break down in just a minute. But the Indiana Pacers played the Brooklyn Nets. Now, you know the Indiana Pacers were holding that 6th seed, it seems like, for an eternity, as the Miami Heat were just constantly playing catch-up, as every time we were getting a win, the Indiana Pacers were getting wins, and every time we would lose, the Pacers seemed like they were still winning, creating some form of gap between the 7th seed and the 6th seed, and it felt like an eternity for the Miami Heat to get out of the play-in position. And last night, the Indiana Pacers lost to the Brooklyn Nets, the second time they've played in the last 2 days, as they played Monday and again Wednesday night. Monday night, the Pacers did win. Last night, that was not the case. They did lose to the Brooklyn Nets, and with that loss, they moved to 43 wins and 34 losses on this NBA season, and due to that, they currently have more losses than this Miami Heat team, so they swap positions in the Eastern Conference standings, as we now hold the 6th seed, and the Indiana Pacers are now on the brink of not being in a definitive playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, sitting at the 7th seed. Now, obviously, the race is not over for the Miami Heat. We do play this Indiana Pacer team in just a few days, 3 days away, actually, on Sunday, April 7th in Indiana, and this is a massive game, to say the least, and you guys know this, but again, just to reiterate, this is the third game of a 3-game season series between these two teams. It is currently drawn at one game apiece between these two teams, and this will be the third and final matchup between these two teams this season. So if we were to happen to tie with record between these two teams, with the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat, we would then go down to who won the season series. So really, if we do tie in record between the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat, we have to make sure that we win this game against the Indiana Pacers on Sunday night, April 7th in Indiana. It is going to be one of the biggest games of the NBA season, excluding the game that we just won and the game tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers that we are going to break down right now, as it will have massive playoff implications for not only the Miami Heat, but also the Philadelphia 76ers and really the Indiana Pacers, as these three teams are just battling it out between the 6th, 7th, and 8th seeds. Obviously, the Philadelphia 76ers have a bit more of a gap between the Heat and the Pacers as of right now, as they were just on our tails, but as of late, they've dropped more games than they've won, losing their last game that they played. The Miami Heat are on a 3-game winning streak, and obviously the Philadelphia 76ers have won their last 2, going 5-5 over the last 10. It's going to be interesting, as Joel Embiid could be playing in this game for the Philadelphia 76ers, which is going to be interesting. The injury report for the Miami Heat looks like this. Tyler Hero is the only player on the injury report, excluding Josh Richardson, that we know is going to be out for the remainder of the season with the dislocated shoulder surgery he just had. That went successfully, thankfully, but once again, he will not be returning this season. Tyler Hero, again, the only player on the injury report, still dealing with the foot injury, tendonitis that he is dealing with. He is still not in the clear to come back, but I will say we do have improvements on Tyler Hero, as he was shooting around at practice. It seems like he is definitely on the second part of the recovery, as he's got through really not being able to move around or really do any basketball activity. It seems like as of late he's been at practice putting shots up. It seems like he's much closer to returning than he was as of late. But again, that is the biggest news for the Miami Heat, is the only injury it seems like we are dealing with going into this game, which seems like a rarity, as every time I come to you guys with either a recap or a preview of a basketball game for this Miami Heat team, it is always a laundry list of injuries that the Miami Heat are dealing with. Finally, it is cut down to just one. Yes, it is a very important piece in Tyler Hero, but again, if it is only one player injured and we still have all the other guys available, that is a hell of a win for this Miami Heat team that has been riddled and just has been dealing with injuries all season long. So hopefully Tyler Hero is on the better side of things, closer to coming back, but once again will miss tonight's game. For the Philadelphia 76ers, their injury report looks a hell of a lot like the Miami Heat's normally does, as Robert Covington is the only player listed as out, but for the other players, we have Tyrese Maxey, starting point guard, a key player for this Philadelphia 76ers team, listed at day-to-day, questionable to play tonight against the Miami Heat. Mo Bamba, really the starting center, if not the backup center, due to Joel Embiid's absence, is also listed the day-to-day with an illness. Tobias Harris, the starting small forward for this Philadelphia 76ers team, a legit scoring option, is also listed at day-to-day and is questionable to play tonight against the Miami Heat due to a left knee hyperextension. And finally, the biggest name out of them all is Joel Embiid. Yes, he returned just a few nights ago for this Philadelphia 76ers team, but again, listed at questionable to play tonight due to the left knee injury that he's been dealing with. Yes, he did return, but again, not sure if the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid are going to force Joel back to play here tonight in a game, yes, that has significant factors for both teams, but really more the Miami Heat, due to the fact that with a loss, the Miami Heat would then be in the 7th seed, once again switching spots with the Indiana Pacers, as we would both be at 34 losses, but then with a loss to the Miami Heat, they would then still be at 42 wins, as the Indiana Pacers would be a half game better with 43 wins. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers, with a win tonight, would just be 42-35. They would still be at least a game and a half back from the Miami Heat, who would then drop to the 7th seed. So again, whether or not Joel Embiid plays tonight is going to be a massive piece. Whether or not he's healthy, he's going to be a problem. I don't care if he's playing the Miami Heat, if he's playing the Denver Nuggets, if he's playing the New York Knicks, if he's playing the Los Angeles Lakers. This guy is a problem. It doesn't matter who he's playing against. He is a 7-foot hooper. There's no other way to say it. He gets the job done. It doesn't matter who he's matched up against, what day it is, how he's feeling. As long as he's really able to go and he's not on one leg, to say, he is going to be a problem for this Miami Heat team. Now, the biggest factor going into this game, excluding the actual conference standings and whether or not we win or the Philadelphia 76ers win, is the season series. Is the season series between the 76ers and the Miami Heat. It is currently at 2-1 in favor of the Miami Heat, with the 4th game coming tonight. Yes, the end of this season with these games coming up for the Miami Heat, a lot of them seem like, yeah, the Rockets, Western Conference, Toronto, they're not involved in the playoffs. Atlanta is so far down in the playoffs that it won't affect the Miami Heat. But again, then obviously you have Dallas, another Western Conference team. The Indiana Pacers and the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be the two biggest games of this NBA season for the Miami Heat. Not only for these Eastern Conference standings, but due to the season series records that we currently have against these two teams. You guys saw the Indiana Pacers records, as we are currently tied at 1 apiece, with the 3rd game coming in 3 days, on April 7th on Sunday. And then tonight is the 4th and final game of the season series between this Miami Heat team and the Philadelphia 76ers. It is going to be winner take all. If we tie this, or if we lose this game and tie the season series with the Philadelphia 76ers, I will say it is a much better position than if we lost to the Indiana Pacers, due to the fact that it seems like the Miami Heat would have to go on a string of losses in order for it to really matter whether or not we won the season series against the Philadelphia 76ers, due to the fact that we'd have to come tied in record with them for the season series to really matter, due to the fact that we are sitting 2.5 games above them already. I think we'll be fine, because I have hope in the Miami Heat that we are going to win the majority of our remaining games listed here. So, again, not only massive playoff implications for the Miami Heat tonight and for the rest of the rest of the season, but again, bragging rights, the ability to say that we won the season series not only over the Philadelphia 76ers, but possibly even over the Indiana Pacers, battling for a definitive playoff spot. This is no time to slack up. We are on a 3-game win streak. Yes, we've beaten up on some bad teams, but we also beat the 5th seed in the New York Knicks just last game. It's going to be interesting. We need to string some wins together, and we can possibly even make a push for possibly even the 4th seed. It seems crazy. Even a week ago, if I told you guys that, you guys would have called me crazy. But today, there is legitimate chances for the Miami Heat to make a push, not only for the 5th seed, but possibly even the 4th and even the 3rd seed. If we can make the 4th seed, we can make a push for the 3rd seed, as the Cleveland Cavaliers are on a 1-game losing streak, have only won 4 of their last 10 games, losing 6 of them. It seems like the Eastern Conference between the 7th seed all the way up until the 3rd seed is up for grabs to whatever team is going to play the best basketball down the stretch and really string together some wins. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about tonight's game and the rest of this season for the Miami Heat. I told you guys with 9 games left, I believe we can go 8-1. I think we can even get close to going 9-0 with these last. I know we have 7 games left, but we've won the last 2. When I did make that prediction of going 8-1, I thought New York was going to possibly be our only loss. It seems like with the remaining games, we could legitimately win out and make a legitimate push for the top seeds in the Eastern Conference. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Thanks for watching this episode of Heat Digest. I'll see you guys on the next one.